They counted her money before she was even dead. They didn't see her as a person. They saw her as a payout, a woman whose death could be turned into cash. But the woman they tried to bury refused to die. And when they realized she was still alive, it was already too late. Because this time she wasn't surviving quietly. She was preparing to destroy them in court. In 1996, in a town outside Columbus, Ohio, lived Emily Carter. She was 44 years old, a night shift records clerk at a regional hospital, quiet, reliable, easily overlooked. She lived alone, no spouse, no children. At work, colleagues described her as nice but forgettable. That's why no one noticed how observant she was. Emily noticed everything, signatures that didn't quite match, dates that seemed oddly timed, people who smiled too much when paperwork involved money. She didn't confront anyone. She documented. Because Emily had learned something early in life, the loudest people aren't always the most dangerous ones. The idea didn't originate with Emily. It came from financial desperation. Brian Keller was her department supervisor, recently divorced and drowning in alimony payments and gambling debt. Lydia Keller, his new wife, worked part-time for an insurance processing firm. And Sean Wilcox, Brian's cousin, was a failed contractor with a talent for shortcuts. They spent evenings complaining about money, about unfair systems, about people who didn't even know what they were worth. Then Lydia said it. You know, some people are more valuable dead. No one laughed, because everyone understood. Emily Carter had no one to question her disappearance. Brian positioned himself as helpful. He'd helped Emily fix a payroll issue once, drove her home after a late shift. So when he suggested life insurance, just something small for emergencies, Emily didn't resist. $300,000. Brian listed as beneficiary. Emily signed. But that night she scanned every page and noticed something. The policy rider had been added unusually fast. She highlighted it, saved it, and told no one. When accidents weren't accidents. The first incident was subtle. Her tea tasted metallic. She collapsed at work. Doctors blamed dehydration. Brian was frantic. Lydia cried loudly. Sean didn't show up. Emily recovered. Then came the car incident. Loose lug nuts, a highway scare, then her apartment, a gas valve left open. Each time Emily survived, and each time the concern around her felt rehearsed. So Emily did what she did best. She started building a file, dates, witnesses, patterns, because she wasn't lucky. She was being targeted. Emily changed tactics. She told coworkers she was tired, said she'd updated her will, joked about not lasting much longer. She let them believe it. One night she agreed to drinks with Brian and Lydia. She drank slowly, swapped glasses, pretended to lose consciousness. Brian called 911, but the paramedics didn't rush her to the emergency room because the police were already waiting. Emily had planned it. She wasn't unconscious, she was recording. The trial drew significant attention because Emily didn't hide. She testified, calm, clear, prepared. She explained the timeline, the policy, the so-called accidents, the patterns. Then came the moment no one expected. Emily's attorney played the recordings. Brian discussing timing. Lydia mentioning when the claim clears. Sean joking about finally getting paid. The courtroom went silent. Brian's attorney objected. Overruled. The insurance company testified next. They confirmed their investigation. The unusual policy processing. The beneficiary pressure. Then Emily stood again and looked directly at the jury. I didn't survive because I was lucky, she said. I survived because I paid attention. The verdict came swiftly. Guilty on all counts. Brian went to prison. Lydia lost her license and her freedom. Sean took a plea deal. The policy was voided, every dollar frozen. Emily returned to work. Same position, but not the same woman. Because now people listened when she spoke. What do you think about Emily's approach? Would you have confronted them earlier, or was her strategy of quietly gathering evidence the right move? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to help me create even better content. Your support means everything.